Hello, and welcome back to my channel. It's nice to see you again. In this video, I will be customizing a mask that I made for myself. It is non-medical, so do not mistake this for being a medical mask. It's just for simple protection. With everything going on right now, the one thing that still makes me really happy are the fandoms that I'm a part of. So obviously, the only logical thing to do was to make myself a Kylo Ren mask. If you're interested in making a similar mask, I'll leave the link to the pattern and instructions down below. Pretty much what I'm doing at this point is tracing and adding seam allowance to the pattern. You're going to need to cut 4 pieces, 2 of the pieces with a longer seam allowance on the back, like you see right there. The next thing to do was to put my right sides together and pin the center seam. My domestic sewing machine. I hate it. After sewing for 3 years with an industrial sewing machine, going back to something like this is kind of weird. And as you can see, I am sewing on my floor. The reason being, my entire dining room table is covered with my art. And now that my pieces are sewn together in the middle, I'm going to put them together, and then I'm going to sew the top, and then the bottom, and then I'm also going to sew small channels to put elastics in, which I only had hair elastics because it's impossible to actually get any kind of other elastic right now. I stitched my 2 pieces together by taking my bigger piece and folding over the edges so that it'll look nicer on the outside. I also wouldn't suggest making your mask out of fabric made for coats, because that's what I used to make coats, and this was just extra fabric, and it was really hot when you put it on. Now it's time for the fun part, getting to paint and customize my mask. To paint my mask, I found a reference photo on Pinterest of Kylo Ren's helmet. I used a colored pencil to draw some guidelines, although you couldn't really see it, and I guess it wasn't really useful in the end. So for the most part, Kylo Ren's helmet is pretty much just multiple shades of gray, like 50 of them. I'm sorry, I had to. So while attempting to make my shade of gray that I needed, it turns out I couldn't open up my white paint, so I had to get my mommy to help me. So when first painting, I would suggest blocking out the biggest parts of the helmet, like the part that covers his mouth and the air holes, I guess. That's, I guess, what they are. I don't know. I couldn't tell. I tried to follow my reference as close as possible, especially when painting these lighter metal shiny parts, which I think in the end kind of looked really cool. Also, make sure to repeat this on the other side. So once you've painted your white metal lines, make sure you paint in between them with black. So now that we're here, you're going to take red paint, you can mix it with a little bit of yellow, make it a little bit orange, and we're going to paint the giant red crack that goes down across his helmet. I don't think the way I painted it is technically accurate, but you know, I gave it a try. So putting the final touches on the mask, I added a little bit of fuchsia just to give it some variation. Well, by it I mean the red crack, and I don't like the way that sounds. Red crack. Here it is. The beautiful mask is done. So I hope you enjoyed my video today. I had a lot of fun making it. It was very entertaining for me because that's all I did yesterday.
Blow that piece of junk out of the sky!